Now let us continue with the Dalton's theory of atoms, or we can call it as Dalton's atomic theory also. So he postulated regarding the structure of an atom or the atoms. The first one, he says atoms are all matters are made up of all matters are made up of small particles called atoms. So when we consider any matter, it is consisting of the small particles which are called as atoms. And these atoms of an element have same size, mass, and possess similar chemical properties. That is, when we consider an atom of a particular element, all atoms of the same element will possess similar size. Say for example, I am taking this hydrogen. Hydrogen atoms have got the same size and same mass, and whatever the property of for one hydrogen atom, it will be same for the other hydrogen atoms also. So all atoms of an element have similar size, similar mass, and possess similar chemical properties. When we say this one, the opposite is also true. That is, atoms of different elements possess atoms of different elements have different size, mass, and possess different chemical properties. Suppose you take the elements hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen atoms have got some size, mass, and properties, while oxygen atoms have got different size, different mass, and different properties. So atoms of different elements have different size, mass, possess different properties. Then atoms of different elements combine in definite whole number ratio to form compounds. Say for example, if you take the formation of the water, hydrogen and oxygen, that is different atoms, combine in a definite ratio by whole number ratio. That is, hydrogen and oxygen combine always in the ratio 2:1 to form water. Similarly, if you take this carbon dioxide, carbon and oxygen combine in the ratio 1:2. So it is 1:2. It is a simple whole number ratio. It is 2:1. Similarly, in case of this methane, the hydrogen and carbon and hydrogen combine in the ratio 1:4. Similarly, if you take this glucose, C6H12O6, in this case, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen combine in the ratio 6:12:6. It is nothing but a simple ratio 1:2:1. Then the last postulate of this Dalton's theory is atoms cannot be created or destroyed. So you cannot create the hydrogen atoms, you cannot create the oxygen atoms, you cannot create the carbon atoms. They can be converted from one shape to the other shape or one form to the other form. But atoms themselves cannot be created or destroyed. So these are some postulates of the Dalton's atomic theory. Some of these properties or some of these postulates are correct, but some have got ambiguity which have been disputed. For example, this atoms cannot be created or destroyed. Atoms can be created but with nuclear reactions. So one atom can be converted to the other atom by nuclear disintegration reaction. But as such, at that time, Dalton's proposal for the theory of an atom, there were no such nuclear reactions obtained or observed. That's why he stated that atoms cannot be created or destroyed. Now after this, we will consider atomic and atomic mass unit. Atomic mass and atomic mass unit. When we consider an atomic atom, they are very, very small in size. Atoms are small in size. That's why we cannot determine the weight of an individual atom. Hence, they have to be determined, their masses are to be determined with relation to some other atoms. So with reference to this carbon 12, which is used as an isotope, a standard isotope, okay, we can determine the mass of various other elements, and hence this is used as a standard. Carbon 12 is used as a standard. So we will consider this topic, atomic mass unit. When we consider this atomic mass unit, which is abbreviated as AMU, in the modern times it is being initiated only with U. When we consider this atomic mass unit, it is the carbon 12 taken as a standard one or as a reference one. When we consider the mass of one atom of carbon 12 isotope, one atom of C12 isotope, its mass is taken as 12 atomic mass unit. Mass of one atom of carbon 12 isotope is taken as 12 atomic mass unit. Therefore, 1/12 of the mass of one atom of carbon 12 is considered as one atomic mass unit. So, one atomic mass unit is calculated as 1/12 of mass of one atom of carbon 12 isotope. Isotopes are the atoms of the same element having same atomic number but different mass numbers. Carbon will exhibit two types of isotopes. One is carbon 12 isotope, another carbon 14 isotope. But abundant isotope of the carbon is C12. That's why we are taking this as a standard one, and its mass is taken as 12 atomic mass unit. 1/12 of this mass of one atom of carbon 12 is taken as one atomic mass unit. That's why using this as one atomic mass unit for the carbon 12 isotope and divided by 12, we can measure the atomic masses of different atoms. Atomic mass. Atomic mass is defined as mass of an atom of the element, mass of one atom of the element to 1/12 the mass of one atom of carbon 12 isotope. Or we can also define it as ratio of mass of one atom of the given element to 1/12 the mass of one atom of carbon 12 isotope. Suppose I take this atomic mass of hydrogen. This is defined as mass of one atom of hydrogen 1 atom of hydrogen divided by 1 by 12 into mass of 1 atom of C12 isotope, carbon 12 isotope. Okay, so this is atomic mass of hydrogen. But when this hydrogen or any other element also has the isotopes, then in case of the mass of one atom of that particular element, we have to take average mass of one atom of the element. Say for example, we are having this chlorine existing in two isotopic forms with atomic masses 35 and 37. In that case, we have to take the average mass of one atom of C12 isotope. Mass of one atom of that particular C12 or chlorine atom divided by 1 by 12 into mass of one atom of carbon 12 isotope. So here when we have more than one isotopes, then we have to take average atomic mass. Average atomic mass. This average atomic mass is calculated percentage of the isotope multiplied by atomic mass. So you have to take sigma. If two isotopes are there, then for one isotope, what is the percentage of the particular abundance multiplied that atomic mass. Say for example, we are having this chlorine atom with atomic mass 75% abundance and atomic mass 37 with 25% abundance. Then in that case, we have to calculate the average atomic mass of this chlorine as average atomic mass is equal to 35 into 75% plus, sorry, here it is divided by 100 plus 37 is atomic mass multiplied by 25 whole divided by 100. When you calculate this value, this comes out to be 35.5. So the average atomic mass may be a fraction also. It is actually calculated by taking the percentage abundance multiplied by the atomic mass of that particular isotope, and the sum of such values divided by 100 will give rise to the average atomic mass. In that case, the average atomic mass of hydrogen comes out to be 1.008. So this is the actual atomic mass of the hydrogen atom, that is 1.008. So such a mass, atomic mass, is taken as the average atomic mass. It is calculated based on the abundance. Okay. Now let us consider the relationship between the atomic mass and the number of atoms. Here we use the concept of Avogadro's hypothesis. So according to Avogadro's hypothesis, equal volumes of all gases contain equal number of molecules. Masses of the elements, if they are taken equal to their atomic masses, then they will contain equal number of molecules or atoms or particles. So such a concept is actually named as the mole concept. This I have already indicated in one of the previous videos, mole concept and Avogadro's hypothesis. Avogadro's hypothesis or Avogadro's number, we can say. Avogadro's number. When we consider this mole concept, as I have already explained, 1 mole corresponds to the Avogadro number of particles, that is equal to 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. So this number can be applied to any type of particle. This is actually the number used as an Avogadro's number. If 1 mole of a substance is taken, say for example 1 mole electrons, we can say 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 electrons. 1 mole of atoms, 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 atoms. 1 mole of molecules, here you remember 1 mole of molecules. That's why while writing the molecules, you should not write the short term. Sometimes while writing this one, no, molecules, some people write this as mole. This is wrong. It is because if you write MOL, it indicates mole, not molecules. That's why while writing these molecules, you should write complete word. If I say 1 mole of molecules, they will possess Avogadro number of molecules. Okay, that concept is called as the mole concept. Now let us relate this with atomic mass. 1 atomic mass of a substance. Here we call it as atoms. This will contain Avogadro number of atoms. Avogadro number of atoms, Na atoms. That is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. Let me take some examples. Suppose I take 1 gram atom of hydrogen. 1 gram atom of hydrogen corresponds to the atomic mass of hydrogen expressed in grams. So, since hydrogen atomic mass is 1.008, for all practical purposes, we can take this as 1.0 grams. Even though the atomic mass is 1.008, approximately we can take it as 1.0 gram. So 1.0 gram of hydrogen will contain Avogadro number of atoms. Similarly, if I take 1 gram atom of oxygen, since oxygen atomic mass is 16, it should be taken as 16 grams. 1 gram atom of oxygen corresponding to 16 grams of oxygen. So this 16 grams of oxygen will again contain Avogadro number of atoms. That is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. Now if you take 1 gram mole of hydrogen, 1 gram mole of hydrogen molecules. So when you take this hydrogen, it is a diatomic molecule. There are 2 atoms of hydrogen present. So when we say 1 gram mole, it is not 1 gram. It is 1 gram mole. 1 gram mole corresponds to 2 grams. Here most of the students go wrong in calculating this one. When we say 1 gram, it is not 1 gram, it is 1 gram mole. So it corresponds to 2 grams because molecular mass of hydrogen is 2. That's why this 2 grams of hydrogen will contain Avogadro number of molecules. Na number of molecules. But 1 molecule of hydrogen contains 2 atoms. That's why the number of atoms present in 2 grams of hydrogen will be 2 times Na. Similarly, if I say 1 gram mole of oxygen, it is 32 grams of oxygen which contains same Avogadro number of molecules. Now let us go in the reverse way. When I take this 1 Avogadro number of atoms of hydrogen, this will be having mass equal to 1 gram. I told you here 1.0 approximately or 1.008. If I take mass of 1 atom, mass of 1 atom of hydrogen, it is nothing but equal to 1 gram divided by Avogadro number, or it is 1 divided by 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 in the denominator. Whatever is the value, this will give rise to mass of 1 atom of hydrogen. In general, mass of 1 atom of any element is equal to atomic mass divided by Avogadro number. So in general,